morning. It is a beautiful day in Worcestershire. I hope you can hear me okay. This is a very noisy section of road, and I'm driving my wife's BMW 1 Series. It's a 2016 and I hate it. I just feel like there's a lot of wind noise. I'm using the inbuilt sat-nav, which again is all completely counterintuitive. It's got this scrolly wheel in the middle. I don't like modern cars, and this is a 2016. It's not even that new. This is for sale though, so this one will be going fairly soon, hopefully. Right, Friday. Happy Friday. Couple of things I want to talk about this morning. The Tesla has gone, obviously that's gone back. I started editing that last night. It's a little bit annoying that I didn't take the GoPro with me, so it's mostly just me talking to the camera, but then so is my whole YouTube channel, so that'll probably be fine. I want to talk about, not that video. Do you have YouTubers who launch a new video and you get genuinely excited when you see the thumbnail? And probably not, but maybe I am. Maybe that's me for some people. I can't imagine it is. But this morning I saw a new Whistlindiesel video and I immediately got excited because not only is Whistlindiesel one of my favourites, he's going a very, very interesting direction with his last two videos. If you haven't seen them, he uploaded just a few days ago and he was buying a Komatsu bulldozer, and in that video where they get it started, it's an interesting video anyway, he's dropping a lot of hints about the Killdozer incident, which was when a gentleman who had been pushed to the brink used an armoured bulldozer to get back at all the people that had wronged him. And I watched this video where Whistlinediesel's going to buy the exact same bulldozer, and I was just thinking, this is going to be good. I can't wait for the next few installments on this one. So in the first video, he pretty much just buys the bulldozer and they start to ship it home. But they're not shipping it back to Tennessee. They're going via Colorado, which is a massive detour because he wants to take this bulldozer to the town where it happened. So that's the video that I think he put up last night. I watched it this morning. Absolutely brilliant. So he's trying to find out the true story from the people on the ground as to what actually happened with the Killdozer incident. And if you're not familiar with it, just type Killdozer into YouTube. There's a number of little documentaries on it, and essentially it's a gentleman, as I understand it, he's a war veteran. He comes out of the military and he just wants to have himself a nice sort of honest, quiet life. Sets himself up a muffler shop or an exhaust shop in Colorado, and he just kind of wants to live out his days like that. But he falls on the wrong side of whatever mafia family it is that's running the area and running the sort of town planning committee and all this stuff, and they absolutely strangle him, not physically but virtually, and all his business practices, and they break him and they push him to the absolute limit, and he gets to a stage where he breaks. And I'm quite fascinated by human beings when they're pushed to breaking point. It's a subject that I've wanted to talk about on my YouTube channel for quite some time. So anyway, he gets this Komatsu bulldozer and he armours it up with concrete and welded plates, and he goes on a rampage where £9 million worth of damage is done, but not a single person is injured. And he only destroys businesses that belong to the people who've wronged him. And I believe that Whistlindiesel is not only going to try and get to the bottom of what that person was all about, but bring to a wider audience the concept that there comes a time when the authorities, the powers that be, the systems in which we all live and operate, push you too far. And for some people, when they're pushed too far, they kick back. And there's different ways that you can do that. So I'm very excited to see what Whistlindiesel does with that next. The second story that I have discussed before on the channel about people being pushed too far and people reaching breaking point is the gentleman that stole an aeroplane. If you're not familiar with that story, I'll maybe do a longer video on these two stories, because I just think there's a lot to say about both of them. And as I say, humans reaching breaking point. There's a gentleman that was suffering with depression and various other things, and reached a stage in life where the benefits of living were outweighed by the appeal of not living, and he stole an aeroplane and he flew it around for a little bit. I mean, it's a big plane as well, big passenger plane, and he flew it around for a little while, did a loop-the-loop, and then eventually killed himself by crashing into a mountain. And the Killdozer as well, the gentleman killed himself. And there's an interesting theme there, which is, as I've said, people being pushed too far by the system. And you can probably already see the parallels for at what point do we start seeing kickback? At what point in your personal life is it going to be enough? What is going to be your bulldozer moment? What is going to be the thing that makes you go in your garage and build your armoured bulldozer? What is going to be the one thing that pushes you to walk out on the tarmac and lock yourself in a plane? What's it going to take? How far are we going to go? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm seeing lots of stuff about Rishi Sunak and digital ID and the Bank of England and digital currency and all this stuff. But it's the slow creep, isn't it? People don't realise that, and it's all been very well planned. The creep is indeed very slow, and a lot of people they don't realise. Not only do they not realise that the water in the pot is getting extremely hot, I don't think they even realise that they're in the pot. I said this before on my channel, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself and you've heard this before. But yeah, very excited to see what Whistlinediesel does with his bulldozer. But I love that, again, that's a YouTuber who, he's kind of known for destroying stuff, that's his thing. But this is a different side of Whistlinediesel that we're seeing. This is Whistlinediesel, the documentarian, and I want to see more of that. Someone that you've got to know via YouTube, tackling subjects and sensitive things in a way that you wouldn't expect. Brilliant. I can't wait. Whistlinediesel, if you're watching, what's the chances of Whistlinediesel watching Jeff Buys Cars? Keep it up. Absolutely love it. I think I'm going to get some Whistlinediesel merch. It's expensive though because of the shipping, but I just feel like I want to support channels that do cool stuff that I like. I get that's why people buy my stuff. That's when I'm like, oh, I can't believe we've sold so many mugs. But now I get it, because I'm saying the same about other channels. I mean, I'm on a much smaller scale. I think he's probably taller than me anyway. But there we go. So that's the Whistlinediesel video. Where am I off to today? Well, yesterday kind of went sideways because there's been a pretty significant full moon. You've probably noticed it. Now, if it seems like there's been a lot of content on the channel this week, you should see the footage that I haven't uploaded. I've been a little bit wild, and I swear it's down to the full moon. I've gone full werewolf this week. I filmed so much stuff, and then I watch it back and I'm like, Jeff, that's completely unusable. So if you thought this week's videos were bad, you should see the camera roll on my phone. Anyway, yesterday I filmed a bit of a day in the life, because I had to drive the Tesla to Stratford to get the BMW, then I drove the BMW to the Beetle, I drove the Beetle up to the Volvo race car, and then I intended to come home in the X5. But two things happened. When I got to the X5, it wasn't ready because it needs to have the tracking done, because it's just had a ball joint done for the MOT. And the Volvo, I got a track day next week, and I've collected my Volvo race car, and annoyingly, it's doing the exact same thing that the gold Volvo was doing, which is putting exhaust fumes into the cabin in like quite a bad way as well. I've had a good smell around the engine bay, and it's coming out like near the distributor cap. So I need to have a closer look at that, and it will be going into a garage to see if we can do something about that, and to do the brakes as well, ready for the track day. But knowing what I know about cars and garages, there's a good chance that that isn't going to get fixed in time for the track day, which means I can't really be driving, because the windows don't go down either, because I've removed all the electrics. So that would basically mean that it's a bit risky to spend an entire day driving around a racetrack with a car that is, putting emissions directly into the cabin. Should have bought a Tesla. So last night I started shopping for a car, and shopping for a car in last minute complete and total chaos is something that I'm actually very good at. So I figured I don't want to cancel the track day or change it, and I can always sell the car afterwards. So I was thinking, I don't know, I'm desperate, anything up to about £2,000. But when you're shopping for a car for a track day, it's quite different to shopping for a car normally, because all the Volvos are out, because hardly any of them are manual gearbox 20 valves like the one that I've got is. And a lot of the cheaper cars are more luxurious cars, because what you want is a hatchback. But the hatchbacks are expensive because the kids and the learner drivers want them. So track day car shopping is a totally different thing. What I really fancied was a BMW not X5, can't help myself saying it. What I really wanted was a Z3 1.9 manual, but all the ones that I found that are cheap and local have got problems that can't be fixed in time for the track day. Then, late at night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, I stumbled upon a Peugeot 206 GTI, so manual gearbox, hot hatchback, warm hatchback, lukewarm hatchback, and it's local and it's cheap because the MOT expires on the day of the track day. So that means I could buy this car, I could do the track day, and then drive home, and then the MOT will expire. So I can get an MOT sorted. Fuel. Obviously my wife hasn't put any fuel in the car and waits for me to do it. Anyway, I could drive the car home, and then the MOT can expire, and I can sort the MOT after the track day. But what this means is, I've got a hot hatch for a track day. I'm hoping to take both cars to the track, the 206 GTI and the Volvo, and we'll basically drive the Volvo around until one of us passes out. Andy from the racing instructor driver man is coming, and my friend from, well, not from school, my old church friend from years ago. We used to go go-karting together when we were kids, and he's coming with me as well. He's a pretty good driver, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of lap times we can set down in the two cars and have a bit of a jolly. I'm hoping for good weather, but now that I've found this 206 GTI, I'm actually quite excited about it. I like the Peugeot 206, I think it's a great looking car, and I think it'll be a good one for a cheap track day toy. So there we go, that's what I'm up to today. I will be collecting the X5 later on, and I think that's it for now. That video was longer than I expected, but yeah, go and watch the, here's your homework for today. Go and watch the documentary. I think it's just called Killdozer, but if you type Killdozer into YouTube, you'll find it, if you're not aware of the story already. Watch that, and then watch Whistlinediesel's latest 2 videos on his Killdozer, because they're pretty good, and I'm very much looking forward to what he does next with it. Right, that's it for now. The rest of the day I'm going to be editing the Tesla video and farting around with this Peugeot 206, so lots of content coming soon. Let me know if you were impacted by the full moon, like I was. Oh, new YouTube channel as well. I set it up already. Don't know if you'll be able to find it. It's called it's called Books in Cars and Stuff. For those of you that watched my video yesterday evening, Books in Cars and Stuff that's all going to get set up later today as well. And there's already a video on there, because that's a channel that I started to do just that, but couldn't think of a name for it more than a year ago. So the first chapter of Cosmic Banditos is on there already, and that's probably my all-time favourite book. And this has now encouraged me to go and read chapter 2. So there'll be lots of different books on that channel. I'm excited about growing an audiobook Jeff Reads Stories channel, but I'm passionate about that. And if it gets a few subscribers, happy days. Right, I hope you have a great Friday, and I'll check in with you a little bit later on. Apologies for the long video.